representing.
Give him a few feet of square footage. Yeah.
I'll be quiet for at least.
I think you can talk just a little square footage. That's
Ken
all.
is definitely feeling loose here. He's been drinking most of the stream.
What's Ken's drink
the
of
third
choice?
15 minutes.
Oh, look at this. I think this is,
4.
ooh, this is bad for Nick. So Nick flops a flush, and so does Gall.
And Garrett's doing the leading here. He's putting the C
Yellow
bet.
card, yellow card.
Let's see what Nick raises it up, which I would do too.
Of course.
I would want to protect my flush from one
Hey, I want you.
card heart hands, like a single ace of hearts or a king of hearts, and there is now 4,400 in the pot.
Then let's do it now.
Oh, this could get ugly.
Nick is sitting pretty shallow though. He only has
Thank
about
you.
6,000 back.
Okay, so yeah, he's not.
So-
He normally sits with a big stack, so that's kind of surprising. Did he lose a big hand before?
You know, on Tuesdays he buys in for around 20 something thousand. On Fridays he usually buys in 200 big. So I assume he bought in for 20,000.
No, that's it.
Um,
In time. Thank you.
Since
I just want
the
these two. You can take
blinds
them.
are 50, 50, 100,
He raises neck.
$100 big blind ante.
Fuck it, how many times?
And the
And Gull does put them all in, and Nick says F it how many times, and calls, and Gull already has a check mark.
Yeah, it's over.
Jesus, not even close.
Dang, Nick. R.I.P., buddy.
I said,
That is.
R.I.P. But yeah, Nick's great. He's obviously a regular. Everyone, all the viewers, like, know Nick. He's hilarious. I don't
Yeah,
know
thanks.
if
Yeah,
any of you
my-
guys were
I had a
watching the stream
pretty
on
good
Tuesday,
one.
but we, like, just had so much fun. Whenever Nick and I play together, we try to, like, make the table really fun and, like, drive a lot of action and, like, put the straddles on and get everyone talking and laughing. And I think that's the type of game everybody wants to play. And so that's the type of atmosphere we like to create.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I jumped in the game after on Tuesday, and we were playing a $100 straddle.
way around. Yep. Sorry.
So in a 5-5 $100 straddle game. So it's definitely fun.
For sure. Oh, also, by the way, guys, if you check out my Twitter or my Instagram, my Twitter is at @the_illest. I put a tweet out, which I thought was super cool. So PokerStars made this thing for International Women's Day, which I guess is today.
Okay.
And you get to nominate your favorite female poker player, and then they choose from a pool of all the nominees from, you know, fans, and then 6 of the finalists go and play a sit and go, and whoever wins that sit and go gets a $30,000 platinum pass.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay,
So you guys check it out. You don't have to vote for me, but if I'm your favorite, obviously
well,
vote for me.
there's 6,600 people in the chat right now, so go over and vote for Kelly. I'm trying to think. So you said 5 seats?
6. So
6
there's
seats.
6, and we do like a mini sit. Well, they all fly us to some
I think
location.
you're a shoo-in on this, because I'm trying to think of like the 6 most popular women in poker, and you're definitely one of them. I would say there's Jennifer Tilly for sure.
Jen Tilly's amazing. There's
Okay.
so many good ones. So many good ones.
Okay, I agree that there's like a bunch of good ones, but I think you're gonna take the cake on this, and we'll get to that after this hand, because this one's pretty
Ooh,
sick.
let's talk about this.
Marco with 2 pair and Gull with a bigger 2 pair. Gull just won the last hand. Definitely has a run good image at the moment.
Oh, with a flush draw too. Oh my goodness.
And Gull's gonna put in the 3 bet on the flop.
Smart. I mean, obviously, I think if I have his hand, I'm gonna raise there as well. What do you think?
I think it's a pretty interesting spot here, because when you see the 3 bet, usually it's like a nutted hand. Like could be a straight, could be a set, could be like a big draw, like 6-5 of spades. Gull does have some good removal to aces and 4s, so doesn't have to worry about a straight. So I don't mind him putting in these 3 bet, like you said, especially because he is really deep. Him and Garrett started this hand almost 400 big blinds deep.
Wait. Did 3-4 fold?
The 3-4 did fold. What
And
is 6 fold?
who had that?
And that was Marco. And that's
Marco,
basically
wow.
when you put in that 3 bet on the flop,
Right.
people know that it's like a nutted hand or
Right,
a
right,
huge
right.
draw. And there's only like a couple combos of huge draws, like 6-5 suited, maybe ace deuce suited and ace 5 of spades.
Right.
Spades
This
do
kills
roll
the
off.
action, obviously.
Yeah, this is definitely going to go, I would assume, check
I
and
wonder
a
if
check.
Garrett like bluffs here though. Like I think that Garrett's good enough to realize if Gall checks this turn that his ace is no good. I think like Garrett can come to that conclusion. So now is he merging his hand and turning it into a bluff here? Because if anyone can do it, it's 100% Garrett.
But then again, does Garrett think he has that little ounce of showdown value versus those like,
100% he knows he doesn't have showdown value. He has zero
and you're
showdown
right.
value.
And you're right. I don't know. I
So
feel
I
like
think
he's
when Gall checks, he's like, okay, I know he doesn't have a flush, and he could have a set or two pair. Like he obviously has made that very clear with the 3-bet. So it's like now I have to merge my hand and turn it into a bluff because I don't have showdown value.
and I think you're right here. And we'll see by this river. It means Garrett's going to have to pull the trigger to essentially go all in, put Gall all in, because Gall has 23,000 back. And that's a brutal card for Gall. And Garrett's got to be at the bottom of his range, even though he has an ace, right? I mean, there's straights on the board. Spades got there.
I mean,
And a
yeah,
3-bet flop.
definitely with the Garrett's hand, it's the bottom of his range, and I think that Gall knows he's capable of bluffing here, so it's tough to say. You know, like I know how Garrett plays.
Oh, and Garrett goes
he's
all
gonna
in.
put the pressure on him for
That was
sure.
pretty sick. You called it. I thought Garrett might check that back on the turn.
There's no way.
And Gall snap folds, and Garrett gets one through and wins a $50,000 pot.
That's pretty sick.
Oil and vinegar.
Gall is crushing. We're going to get the stats up here on the next dealer change, but Gall bought him for 20,000. I assume he's got a stack of something around 50,000-ish.
Wow. Well, good for him because I know he lost around 20 when we played last on Live with the Fight.
Yeah, he ran into Kelly Minkin and Francisco, I heard.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's fine. Thank you.
We kind of beat him up a little bit,
Whatever
but
you
he's
need.
fine.
Rachel?
So Ken with 2 kings. Ken's going for the old school limp and raise here.
I love it. I love every once in a while you'll see like a limp back raise, and I'm like,
Yeah,
let's
Sister
go,
Shayna.
bringing the old
Just
school
talking about
style
that.
back for
Also
sure.
very
You know, the
Jewish,
problem
right?
is with these players, like Ken can absolutely have like air balls here too. So it's really tricky to play against like Francisco and Ken. They're willing to limp raise and level with bad hands as well. Here goes Ken. And we might see a bunch of multi-way action because Garrett's not going to fold 7s to set mine.
Hell no. Hell, they're too deep. So like any pair I think should be calling
Crushing
here.
the whiskey
Um,
like gives a slide.
I
to
think
it,
Andy
puts
may
his
be
drink
able to
down.
obviously get away from the hand, and Julie as well. But I don't know. It really depends on their mindset. Like if Julie's stuck, she's gonna call, try to get lucky. But yeah, they're in there.
And Julie's in the mix, which means Garrett's going to be in the mix.
But to me in this spot, especially for like Andy and Julia, I don't think that's like the correct call because you just have to always worry about like being out kicked. If you hit a jack, is it good? Like, I just don't love it. And I try to stay away from those like middling ace hands in these type of spots. I've done this 100 times and I'll call and I hit top pair and it's never good. And
So you
It's
get like
just-
reverse implied odds to lose heaps of money,
yeah.
pretty much.
I mean, it really is just a tough spot. Even if you hit 2 pair, there's like king queen, and you got to worry about gut shots or straights, and I just don't love it.
So Ken's going to bet 5,100. Andy's going to call, and Julie's going to go all in because Julie only has like 2K, I think, on top of that bet. We're going to fix the chip count here as Julie goes all in. Maybe she doesn't have enough to cover the all in.
She doesn't have much, but the good thing about, Julie in this spot playing the ace jack is she's short, so it's a lot harder to make like really significant mistakes because you only have X amount in play. With
For
Andy,
sure.
it's like he's super deep and he's, obviously he doesn't care as much about 10 or 20K, but it's a spot I wouldn't want to be in. Multi-way.
Absolutely. I just kick in the ace jack pre-flop too. Although I don't sit with $80,000 like Andy does, so Andy has his own way and reasoning of playing some deep stack poker.
Can we talk about the fact, though, that Marco folded pocket threes?
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
And that, I do think, I don't know how deep he is, but I'm pretty sure he's over 20K, right?
Yeah, he had around 30K, I think.
Yeah, so, like, I think that's for sure a call, especially in these deep cash games. Like, that's what you play the game for, is to, like, set mine. And if it's multi-way and, like, you call and then the next guy calls and you know it's going to go, like, 4 or 5 ways to a flop, like,
know what
that's
you guys are
this
talking
dream
about.
scenario. Because it's
Agree,
so
but I
easy to
agree.
get away from it if you don't hit
Sounds
your
like
set.
you
And
have
if you hit your set, you're getting paid, like, a lot of the time. So it's really nice. I think that was a mistake on Marco's part, though, for sure.
Oh, and Andy gets there with the straight. So, oh no, actually,
no,
sorry,
yeah.
paired board. Thought it was a 3. My bad, guys and girls at home.
So, and this is a spot. So I played with Ken before, and he actually tends to bet smaller when he's really strong. And this
LOL
is
live reads.
yeah,
Go
this is a spot where like if I'm Ken, like I'm bombing the river because there's so many like I mean not so many, but there's a lot of like hands that would miss that would bomb that river. And to me, like I'm just making it look super bluffy.
So he bets so small, it's gonna get Andy to put in. Oh my gosh, Andy's gonna go for a bluff.
See, yeah, I mean, but this for the same reason that Garrett turned his hand into a bluff. I think he knows his
Oh
jack
my gosh,
isn't
this
good.
is so sick. So Andy is turning his hand to a bluff because he blocks top set. And he thinks by Ken betting so small that he doesn't have, well, I mean, he knows he has a removal to top full house. Andy is trying to get this exact hand to fold.
Yeah.
Because he blocks aces, so he doesn't put Ken on aces. So he's trying to get kings and queens to fold here. This is so sick by Andy. And Andy's been pretty, like, besides getting out of line versus Garrett, he hasn't really been out of line this stream. So it looks like Ken has like 2 more time chip extensions left. So Ken's not going to have too long to think about this.
So do you think he's gonna call?
Oh, this is such a tough spot. Okay, so Andy is basically risking 400 big blinds on this river, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's
but-
like you sitting in a 10-20 game and you're now facing an $8,000 river bet.
Yeah. But
First-
that's the power of having a stack that size.
For
And
sure.
that's why he buys in that deep as well as that's why Garrett buys in that deep to put maximum pressure on his opponents. And Ken's in a spot now where he's like, wow.
130.
Oh, and
he
Ken folds.
Oh my god, they chop it up. How
Oh.
happy is Julie?
Ken's going to be so tilted. And Andy also did that because he has removal against ace 4. So you can rep the nut straight, or not nut straight, but it's pretty much the nut straight there.
Yeah, in that I mean I
Three
guess
bet
someone
spot.
could call with 6-4 suited, but it's unlikely.
Andy is the sickest.